I didn't start helping my parents because I was asked. I started because it was obvious no one else would. It began small, covering a utility bill one winter when my dad's hours were cut, paying a medical co-pay so my mom wouldn't delay an appointment. Over time, it became routine. The mortgage. Insurance. Just until things stabilized, they'd say. Things never did. I told myself it was family, that one didn't need receipts. That one day, when everything settled, there would be some quiet acknowledgement that I had been there. My brother never paid for anything. He lived close, stopped by on Sundays, fixed a fence once, made jokes about how I was the responsible one. Everyone laughed. I did too, because pushing back felt petty. I found out about the will by accident. A letter arrived at my apartment, misaddressed, meant for my parents but sent to me because I handled paperwork for them sometimes. It was from a law office, thin and formal. I opened it without thinking. Everything was left to my brother. The house. The savings. Even the car I had helped replace after an accident. My name appeared once, buried in a clause about personal effects, nothing of financial substance. No explanation. No discussion beforehand. Just a completed decision. I didn't feel angry right away. Mostly, I felt foolish, like someone who realizes they've been speaking a language no one else understands. When I asked my parents about it, my mom said, "You don't need anything. You're doing fine." My dad added, "Your brother needs stability." That was it. No mention of the bills. No acknowledgement of the years I had quietly filled gaps. Just a conclusion they had reached together, apparently long ago. I kept paying for one more month. Out of habit, maybe. Out of disbelief. Then I stopped. Not dramatically. I didn't announce it or argue. I simply didn't send the payments. I didn't remind them. I waited to see what would happen when my absence became real. The silence was immediate. No check-in calls. No casual updates. It was as if I had been erased along with my transfers. I realized then how much communication had been around what I provided, not who I was. 3 weeks passed. I slept better than I expected. Uneasy, but lighter. I noticed how often I'd been bracing myself before phone calls, anticipating requests disguised as conversation. On the 4th week, my phone buzzed. "Ours the mortgage is due. S." That was the entire message. No, hi. No concern for how I was doing. I stared at it longer than necessary, not because I didn't know what to say, but because I understood exactly what this moment represented. This wasn't panic. It was expectation untouched by doubt. I replied, simply, "You'll need to talk to the beneficiary, sucks and nothing else." The typing bubble appeared, disappeared, appeared again. Then nothing. The next day my dad called. His voice was tight, controlled. He asked if something was wrong with my account. I said no. He asked if I was upset. I said I wasn't angry, I was finished funding a future I wasn't included in. He told me I was being dramatic. That family doesn't keep score. I didn't argue. I just said, neither do banks. A week later, my brother called for the first time in months. He sounded irritated, confused. He said Mom was stressed, that I was making things hard. I asked him when he planned to start contributing. He laughed, assuming it was a joke. When I didn't laugh back, the line went quiet. What followed wasn't explosive. It was administrative. A financial advisor got involved. The lawyer returned their calls. The mortgage company sent formal notices. The responsibility shifted, not with a fight, but with paperwork. I wasn't invited to the meetings. For once, I wasn't needed. My mother sent one more message eventually. Longer this time. It said she was disappointed. That she hadn't raised me to abandon family. That things felt cold now. I read it twice. I didn't respond, because what I wanted to say, that support without recognition becomes obligation. That love measured only by usefulness corrodes quietly, I knew wouldn't be heard. It never had been. Months later, I heard through relatives that my brother was overwhelmed. That managing what he inherited was harder than expected. That my parents were adjusting. No one apologized. No one admitted anything outright. But they stopped texting me about money. When I think about it now, I don't feel victorious. There was no moment of triumph, no satisfying reversal. Just a slow, uncomfortable realignment. I learned something I wish I hadn't needed to learn, that sometimes withdrawing is the only way to see the shape of what you were holding up. That dignity doesn't arrive loudly. It comes quietly when you stop explaining yourself to people who already decided your role. I still don't know what my relationship with my family will look like in the long term. But for the first time, I know what it won't be built on.